love your coffee.
Got it, but let's buy some land and build a family. That's a grown-up flex. Let's see a black man winning and get so upset. This is generational, inspirational, integrative though. On the rise vertically, working like I ain't made it though. This is for my people. Locker room speeches. Listen while I'm teaching. Nails trying like a Kias. Stole it like I'm Jesus and brought it back like a re-up. Had to demonstrate the blessing for people who couldn't see it. Now we building assets before we splurge our cash. We was talking about the dream, dog. We heard y'all laugh. Now they talking about the team and I heard y'all last. I can never take the credit, I prefer all cash. Look, laughing at the crib cause I done turned into a bank. Probably turned into a mogul before I turned into a saint. Was just a man on his grind and I turned it into great. Turn my struggle into hustle and you know I'm getting paid. Let's go.
Turn my struggles into my hustle, man. You know I'm getting paid. If y'all can hear me, if you bank what I'm thinking, you can hear me. Let me see some B's. Did y'all hear that music? I'm getting good at starting this show right. I'm starting to get good at starting this show right. Okay. Let me see some B's if y'all banking what I'm thinking, if y'all can hear me clear. Welcome back to the Private Bankers Society's podcast. This is the General Dr. J. Tayler Jacobs, your crusader, your leader with the Private Bank Society. And part of this, the reason why we call it a podcast is simply because we always giving game. So this ain't one of them just interview shows. This is a show that you can actually find and actually apply your life to go to the next level. I want to give a shout out to the Private Bank Society Council. You guys have done a good job. Y'all did y'all voting that y'all was supposed to do so that we can make sure that stuff is going up good. I'm actually excited about what's coming forward. The Private Bank Society, we got some amazing stuff that's actually going in our private member community. We'll talk a little bit about that. Y'all know we always do it in the class just to make sure that everybody knows what's coming up, what's going on, and that you are in tune to what you got to be in tune to. If you bank what I'm thinking, let me see some B's in the chat. Because the truth is, we are finally finishing in the last lesson of our third pillar, which is the finance pillar. And we're going to be talking about cash flow multiplying. We already talked about cash flow stacking. We talked about cash flow hedging. We talked about cash flow creation. Now we're going to be talking about cash flow multiplying, because I do think it's most important. If you have not taken a chance to catch up to the content of the videos, this is your first video that you're watching, go back and watch video 1, which was like, feels like many moons ago. We talked about cash flow creation and what's going on. Those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Dr. J. Tayler Jacobs. I'm a 8-figure business developer. I'm the creator of the Private Banker Blueprint, the curator and general co-founder of the Private Bank Society, a private group where like-minded individuals work together to get great. Because remember, scripture says that lender will always be, a borrower will always be a slave to the lender. He told you to be the head, not the tail. The last will always be first. And I don't care what nobody tell you. You can be the bank. You just got to put it in your mind that you can do it, and you will be able to do it. So let me turn on this screen, this camera, and we're going to get going. We're going to get going. Just make sure y'all do what my daughter always say before every class.
Y'all need to pay attention.
Y'all need to make sure that y'all are paying attention to the class. Let's listen to a little bit of jams as I get the TV together.
I love your coffee.
Got it, but let's buy some land and build a family. That's a grown-up flex. Let's see a black man winning and get so upset. This is generational, inspirational, integrative though. On the rise.
So I want y'all to do right now, if y'all can, make sure y'all share this video out to somebody that you feel like needs it. You know this information is valuable. You know our free content It's better than a lot of people's paid content because we actually practice what we preach. Matter of fact, Barry White, I'm telling you this, I'm telling you that. You say you love me, I'll never go back. This is a lesson that I want to preach. Here I am, baby. What they say, y'all? What Barry White say? Here I am, baby. What he say right there? What he say right there? I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I absolutely I'm starting to get that podcaster voice. Y'all know that podcaster voice that they be having. It sound like, you know, they on the radio. I ain't gonna lie. I'm starting to get that podcaster voice, boy. Yeah, I'm supposed to be on the radio or something. Okay, so let's go back over. Let's look at the screen. We're going to cut to the board because I do want to go back and I do want to look at what we talked about previously before. We talked about the cash flow creation. There's a couple of things that we talked about. First thing we talked about was cash flow creation in this pillar. Cash flow creation. We're currently still in the restoring finances pillar. Which is our third pillar. Cash flow creation, which is your ability to create income or money from nothing and using almost nothing. See, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. Cash flow hedging. This is you learning how to utilize the cash that you're creating from here, hedge it into some type of strategy so that you're able to keep majority of your surplus capital, making money for you, working for you, but not only making money for you and working for you, but you also want to make sure that you keep your purchasing power, your buying power. And we talked about in the cash flow hedging, strategies that I use and why I believe that you should use it too. Number 3 was cash flow stacking. We talked about cash flow stacking already, and the cash flow stacking concept was us learning how to use our surplus capital to make that money work for us. That's when you buy a team, you get staff, your products, you stack your products, you stack your team, you stack your distribution. Matter of fact, I thought that was an amazing training. This right here, I feel like was an amazing training, and anybody who is serious about their business, you're going to absolutely take what I was teaching in that and go apply it in a major way. Okay, and then number four, cash flow multiplying. This is what we're going to be talking about today, cash flow multiplying, because this is the strategy where we focus more on assets and acquiring a cash flow that already produces income to be able to protect and hedge. And this is where you get close to that freedom piece, okay? This is when we get close to that freedom piece. And one of the things I want to tell you is that when it comes to this cash flow multiplying piece, and we talk about freedom, right? What is your concept of how do you think about freedom? How do you look about freedom? How do you process freedom? When I think about freedom myself, I think about being able to be with my family without having to work for the sweat of my brow. I think about being good enough that more than my bills are covered, more than a lifestyle I want is covered, more than the things that I used to have to work from sweat and toil in order to position myself. I don't have to do that anymore. And at some point in time, we got to grow up as adults, us being adults. We got to grow up to start thinking like, hey, man, you know, this working to 60, no offense if anybody is 60, is ghetto. And if you are in your 60s or your upper 50s or you're getting close to 70, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've given your entire life to a business, your business or someone else's business. You've given your entire life to working. And when you actually really think about, let's really think about the amount of time that you actually spend doing what you love to do in comparison to the amount of time that you spend trying to create money to be able to just survive, it's ghetto. That's not the life that I signed up for. I know that's not the life that y'all signed up for. And if I believe it right, the concept of becoming a banker is making our money make money for us in the best possible ways that you can. Okay, so we're going to be talking about that. I'm going to be talking about why I actually love the concept of lending money and making money move. Why we love buying companies and why you need that extra cash flow so that you can be able to leverage and purchase things like that. And I know I'm talking in a higher level than a lot of us are, but at least you can have an understanding of where you're working toward so that you can position yourself. So if you banking what I'm thinking, you're ready to get started, let me see some B's in the chat. Until then, I'm going to say he needs some milk. Okay, so let me see it. Let me see it. Cash flow multiplying. This is the piece that's absolutely amazing. So we talk about cash flow stacking. We're still processing, keeping the money in the business or buying other cash flows that add value to your business or entrepreneurial endeavor, right? And I showed y'all my cycle. I showed y'all the cycle of how the money stays flowing in. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's number one. Yeah, I showed y'all the cycle yesterday of how the money stays flowing in. And when the money stays flowing in, how the money stays flowing in with our customers and our clients, because we always continue to make sure that this is going to be the place where our customers and clients are always getting that value. But if you remember what we talked about, the biggest thing we talked about was anchoring. Y'all remember the other class? We talked about anchoring your current existing cash flow. And we talk about anchoring, we're talking about solidifying it strong enough to where you can actually depend on this initial cash flow to be consistent long enough for you to actually practice the banking game. Because if you remember, and just giving you a heads up and a reminder, remember, how does the bank work? If we put a B right here for bank, they provide products and services to customers. Customers give the bank their money, and the bank secures the products and services and secures the customer continuously giving them money so that they're in this perpetuating machine that never ends. Because why? There's a dependency that the person has on what the bank provides, which is credit cards, mortgages, car notes, checking accounts, savings accounts, HELOC, home equity, loan credit, credit lines, business loans. So when you start to look at what the bank actually provides the customer, the client, they're always going to be able to get the love and the loyalty of the customer client. As some of you guys said in the last class, y'all been with banks 10, 20, even some of y'all 40 years. And if you think about all the products that you have with that bank, the more products that a customer has with a bank or a business, the longer they're going to stay anchored into what you have to offer. But if you're not cash flow stacking, like we talked about, to continue to give that customer value so they stay with you long term, even thinking about when they get to the point in time where they may not need a car note and a mortgage long enough, you're coming up with products and services where they continue to patron your business. The more products that you stack that are value adds to the customer and to the client, the more you're actually going to get that customer to stay. But notice right here, this B can represent bank or this B can represent business. Why? Because a bank is nothing but a business first that lends. Somebody put that in the chat. A bank is nothing more than a business first that lends. A bank is nothing more than a business first that lends. So the cash flow stacking portion is this space right here where you're anchoring your cash flow so that the second part of the function of you actually using this money, growing this money, you're working on the cash flow multiplying feature of your model. Right? Appreciate that, Charles, with the Riddler group. Clearly, Charles is the only one that's participating in the podcast today. I know that a lot of you, like, y'all take vacations, and I know that holidays are extremely important to a lot of you. But the truth is, can I tell you the truth? Ain't nothing to be holidaying about right now. There is nothing to be holidaying about right now. The reason why I say there's nothing to be holidaying about right now is simply because y'all understand that in 2023, we're going to see probably between 2023 and 2025, we're going to see one of the hardest crashes in American history. And if y'all are not scared, I don't know what to tell you. Because even me with strategy, and I understand the cash flow, I am still overly hypersensitive to how vulnerable most of us are when it comes to what is really about to happen in the marketplace. Okay. And I just want to make sure that we understand that we're on the same page. That's the purpose of the Private Banking Society. So we keep the main thing. Eyes wants to be free. So we want to make sure that we actually are participating and we're practicing the strategies that we're implementing or talking about so that we can be able to position ourselves to be able to be in a fine position. Now, the most beautiful thing about what happens with crashes, I know it's going to sound morbid. I know it's going to sound bad, but business is business, and business will continue to be business as long as we businessing. And what I mean by that is most people over leverage or they overestimate the fact that everything in life was always going to go great and there would never be a bad area. And then typically we spend all of our surplus cash doing bogus things and pushing it everywhere. So when the rubber hits the road, or what they say, when the rubber meets the road, guess what happens? Most of us don't have enough cash or capital to weather any real difficulties outside of just maybe a flat tire. And even that, most of us are not in the position to even replace a flat tire with a new tire. We got to go get those wonky tires on the side of the road just to be able to get us the other way. How do I know? I used to be exactly in this position. And what we have to do, and we have to position ourselves, we got to see this positioning or this understanding of where we are and start to understand, okay, how do I ensure or how do I anchor myself so that I don't have to always do it? So when we talk about banking, right, this function right here, I want to use this part of the banking construct right here, hold on. Everything on this side, still is active in some form or fashion. You're still kind of active. And the goal is to eventually not have to be so active to make the same money. The goal is not having to be so active to make the same money. Okay? So whatever your cash flow stacking needs are, whatever the monthly income or amount that you want to make, you keep hedging this right here to make sure that you can able to get the cash flow that comes over here to the multiplying section. But the beautiful thing about the multiplying section is this is when wealth actually starts to get built in the cash flow multiplying. And the cash flow multiplying is, how can I get this money that is coming from this cash flow stacking area? How can I get it to make more money so that it insulates me even further? Because the name of the wealth game or the richest game is insulation. The more insulated you are, the more protected you and your family are with being able to live life, of course, in abundance. And when I say in abundance, I mean in true peace. And true peace is not having to worry about basic bills, eating wherever you want to eat, going where you want to go, And I'm gonna be quite frank, like the jets and the $300,000 cars, those things are luxuries that are cool, but at the end of the day, peace is peace, and ain't nothing better than peace. So when we talk about banking, that's where we're trying to get to. So we get to this cash flow multiplying section. Now the question is, like everybody always says, what do I do with the surplus when I surplus it? I skipped one step. Sorry, y'all. I skipped one step. If y'all drawing, be mad at me later, because I got to do this. If y'all drew it, y'all, I hope y'all can scratch it or erase it or something. So when this money goes from here and it goes out, this is our cash flow hedging mechanism. This is us putting the surplus that's not needed to keep this going. Y'all see what I'm saying? This is where we put the surplus that's not needed to keep this machine going. Okay? So, outside of what's needed to keep this business going, everything should be going into your cash flow hedging strategy. The strategy that we know that I use emphatically is insurance reserves. I know that we got a death benefit that protects the asset overall, and I know that the money that goes inside of here grows 4 to 7% every year. So if I know that this money inside of there grows 4 to 7% every year, no matter what, now I can play the game and start multiplying that money. So when that money hits this account in here, now my cash flow multiplying game starts here. Whether I'm lending or investing, that money's going to come back to the cash flow hedging strategy. But inside, once that money hits this account, we know it's always going to grow 4 to 7%, no matter what, on top of whatever interest on the money that you made from these endeavors. If you bank in what I'm thinking and you understand what I'm saying, let me see some B's in the chat. So let's talk about what just happened and what I just did. I took money that was vulnerable and I anchored the vulnerability and I locked it in a contract, insurance reserve contract, that protects my original cash or capital. Now that I'm protected, now I can leverage against this protected money and start actually multiplying the money after it's protected. Okay? So, the easiest thing to do, I believe, once you learn the strategy to actually grow and multiply this based on your strategies, there's a big reason why I love lending. Because I love lending because the name of the game for me is how much reoccurring capital can I continue to get from my endeavors and my investments. How much reoccurring capital can I get, renewable money every single month that will allow for me to keep playing the game of banking? Okay. So when I'm talking about this, the reason why I love lending is, say for an example, I have $10,000. Say for an example, I'm just using this for a case. Say I allocate or I put all $10,000 to use. Well, y'all remember, even though I'm putting $10,000 to use based on cash flow hedging strategy, your $10,000 that you're using actually never comes out of this account. Never comes out. So not only you're still going to make 4.4 to 7% on this money, but now you got access to the same money, although it's still making money over here, to go and make more money using the capital that you have access to or leveraging it from here. So there's 10,000. So say I deploy $10,000 to, I'll put $1,000 to 10 different people. 10 people each get $1,000 that I'm lending. Okay. Say I'm lending. Let's say $1,000 that I'm lending. On this $1,000 that I lend, that means off of each person, let's say I charge 20% to use my money. So $1,000 times 20% is what? Somebody, we're gonna do some math together? $1,000 times 20% is how much? Anyone? $200. Correct, Riddler. So I'm making $200 per person off of 1 month. Let's call it. They needed to access the capital for 4 weeks. I like to lend to entrepreneurs, not consumers. Can anyone tell me why I like to lend to entrepreneurs and not consumers? Can anyone guess why I love to lend to entrepreneurs and not consumers? Can anyone guess why I like to lend to entrepreneurs and not consumers? Collateral. I can get assets and collateral that they may have, equity, ownership, properties, cars, Rolexes. They typically have a much more reoccurring money flow that they can make more money from. And then two, most people who are, I wouldn't say less risk, Brother Rudy X, but what I will say is I can work my way either in their business or number two, most cases, entrepreneurs that depend on other people's capital, like investors or lenders, they don't want to have a bad relationship with a lender because they're going to possibly need that money back. They're going to need to continue to use your money. Why? Because society teaches us what, banker cousins, that we need the bank. We need lenders. We need investors. What I am a full awareness of is that Dr. Jake ain't going to change the world. There are going to be people that use credit cards. There's going to be people that use banks. So rather me say F the bank like I used to say, so I say let me build a banker society and we'll just lend to the people that want to keep borrowing money. So since you want to keep borrowing money, you don't want to leverage yourself and be disciplined with your finances, well, we're going to just keep lending to you. And what happens is most of these people begin to start needing bankers a whole lot more, needing lenders a whole lot more, and they become dependent upon it. Don't hate the game, baby. Just play it. Don't hate the game. Just play it. So let's do this for an example, okay? $1,000 times 20%. That's $200 per person times 10 people. That's $2,000 a month in cash flow off of your original $10,000 amount that you were using.
if you ask me, ain't no better game to play. There's not a better game to play if you asking Dr. Cousin Jake. Ain't no better game to play. And the reason why I say it's not no better game to play, why do typically people say that they like to borrow money from the bank for real estate? They borrow money from the bank for real estate to what? Make money. So let's just look at this for an example. We're gonna look at it side by side. We're gonna be fair. Okay. $10,000. Like they tell you, you can get an FHA loan for 3.5% down. That's what they say. So we're just going to do an apples to apples. We're not even going to play no other games, okay? So let's just say $10,000. Oh, yes, Charles, that's right. Not only did I make $2,000 a month in cash flow, I got my original $10,000 back. So 10 turned to 12. So I'm going to keep playing the game. Let's look at a real estate, FHA loan, $10,000 down. Get you a house worth $285,714.28. Y'all still following me? This is the same money. Same money. So we're going to go to the mortgage calculator on the internet. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on Jesus. All right, so here it is. We'll go to the mortgage calculator. So $285,000. 714.28. Interest rates right now are high as heck. Let's look up real quick the average interest rate on a home loan right now. Right now on the 30-year, hold on, no. I'm gonna show y'all this. It says on the 30-year average rates are how much in interest? Did I make that up, y'all? Is Dr. Jake making any of this up? How much in interest? 7.67%. Right? Okay. Now let's go on and go back. Mortgage calculator. So 7.67% is what the interest is going to be on this property. So 7.67 times 285, 714.28. This is going to be for a single home or single property. Okay. So you got a single house with a single door, 3-bed, 2-bath. You like, man, I'm a real estate agent. I'm a real estate developer, man. I'm killing the game. So how much does that say the monthly payment is? How much does it say the monthly payment is on the mortgage? We're going to assume, I'm going to let you assume that the house is already in perfect shape and you don't have to put any investments down in the house. I'm going to assume, and I'm going to give you the fact that the house is in perfect shape. But let me just stop here real quick. Let's stop here real quick. Let me just stop here real quick. What are the odds that the house that you are buying in real estate is going to be in perfect position or in perfect what they call that, perfect condition, excuse me, for you to immediately put it out to the market. What are the odds?
Y'all need to pay attention.
What are the odds? What are the odds? Not very high, right? But it's okay. Your cousin, Dr. Jake, the general, I'm going to give in this example I'm going to use in this example that is already done. It's already done. It's already done. It's going to be in perfect tip-top shape. So now let's go back to the screen. So based on this, it says that our mortgage will be $2,031 a month. Did Dr. Jake make up that number? Did Dr. Jake make up that number? Or is that number the exact same number that y'all see? Dr. Jake make up that number, or did y'all see that same number? So you put $10,000 down and picked up a mortgage. Cool, because guess what, y'all? We are going to put that thing to work. Yeah, we are. We're going to put that thing to work. We finna make us some money on it. Okay. So the average rental rate the average maintenance rate, if y'all are in real estate, you're going to know when I put this down, I'm not lying, is 1.25% a year on the cost of the actual property. So we're going to take 1.25 and we're going to multiply it times $285,714.28. That'll bring us to $3,571.42 of what your typical average maintenance will be to keep your property up and going. We're going to divide that by 12 months. That's going to give us $297.61 a month. That is for your maintenance. So y'all say, damn, Dr. Jake, boy, you got this down to a science, man. I'm a banker, not just a thinker. So you got to add $297.62 because it was 61.9. 62 cents for maintenance. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Now we got to add, what else we got to add, y'all? Now we got to add taxes. So let's look up average taxes. Let's look up average taxes. We in Texas, so average taxes on a house in Texas. Okay, so let me share my screen because y'all know we in class and Dr. Jake like to show the receipts. Average taxes in Texas. They said your own home tax assessor at $350,000, your property tax rate is $6,300 a year. But it said the average tax rate is approximately 1.8. 1.8. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back to our handy dandy board. We're going to go back to our board and we're going to multiply the mortgage, the cost of the home times the 1.8% tax rate, which will actually compute out like this so that y'all can follow me. So we're going to do $285,714 and 28 cents times 0.018, which is 1.8%, which is a tax rate of $5,142.85 for that property. Oh, let me move my big old head out the way so y'all can see that number down there. We're going to divide that by 12 months. Divide by 12 months. That's another $428.57. So let's add taxes to this thing. We're going to add taxes. Taxes. Okay, taxes have been added. Yo, let's park here real quick. We already deployed 10,000 and that thing moving. No taxes, no properties, no banks, no this, no approvals, no. We already moving that money. This, we invested 10,000 and we still in fees. Taxes. Now we got to do, because you did a 3.5% loan and you didn't invest over 25% down on the house, now you got to get a home mortgage insurance. You got to get mortgage insurance. Okay, let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. Mortgage insurance. It says here that the cost between is 0.5%, as much as 5% of the original amount of mortgage loan per year. That means if 150,000 was borrowed and the annual premium cost is 1%, the borrower will have to pay at least $1,500 each year. So let's do this. So 1%. Can we go with 1%? Is that fair for us to go at 1%? So 1%. So we're going to do 1%. 1% times 0.01% is 20 mortgage insurance. Mortgage insurance is $2,857.14 a year. We're going to divide that by 12 months. That's $238.10 a month. So let's add that. Now let's do math. 238.10 plus 428.57 plus $297.62. Y'all look. You already $954 in the whole a month. Plus the $2,031 a month, that's going to turn out to $2,995.29. Now, of course, I'm using Texas rates for a 3-bed, 2-bath. But if you are in the East Coast, a 3-bed, 2-bath will probably cost a little bit more than $285,000. Wendy said, this is crazy. Dr. Jacobs putting it down. See, it's the numbers for me. So let's play the numbers game. Let me tell you something. Real estate is one of the leading industries of creating millionaires by net worth, not cash flow. You heard that knowledge? Millionaires are created from the real estate industry, but most of it is by net worth, not cash flow. So their properties and assets and all of this is worth millions. But if you never sell it, what's the purpose? What does it matter? And if 100% of the income you make from your rental property, you depend on it to live, if something happens with your property, you're going to have to borrow money again from the bank just to help you with your property, and then use the property to pay back the loan, including the loan that you already have for mortgage. Let's keep playing the game. So this is $2,995 a month and 29 cents per month, and what you owe the government and the bank. So let's look up the average rental cost of a 3-bed, 2-bath. What y'all think the rental cost is? What y'all think the rental cost is? What y'all think the rental cost is? Three-bed, 2-bath, let's call it $3,600 a month. So let's say you getting rent at $3,600 a month. That's the rent you get. You getting paid $3,600. And y'all know what the people on the internet be saying? Yeah, one property, I'm making $3,600 a month from one property. You should get in real estate. You should get in real estate. Then in your mind, for some odd reason, you forget all of this cost. And you only telling people what this is. This is called disillusioned cash flow flexing. You're disillusioned. So let's go $3,600 a month minus the $2,995.29 for you making $604.71 a month in net profit from this house. You invested $10,000 in. You got a $285,000 debt mortgage, and you got to take 100% responsibility for somebody else's screw ups in your house. So let's do this side by side. $10,000 down, $604.71 in net. Over here, lending $10,000 down, $2,000 in cash flow, and my original $10,000 back. So cash flow to cash flow, one gotta go. Cash flow to cash flow, one got to go. Well, they say math ain't mathin'. Okay. I'm gonna be fair. Let's say you got a duplex and you got two people paying. Let's say you got two people paying. Well, if you got a duplex, it's not a 3-bed, 2-bath. If you got a duplex, it's probably a 1-bath, 1-bed, or 2-bath, 2-bed, really small. You're probably gonna get about, let's say you in a duplex and you charging, let's say, $1,800 a month for your duplex times 2. That's $3,600 a month. $3,600 a month is still $604.71 in net profit. The banker is still winning. I'm still winning. Do another scenario. Let's say the Private Bankers Society, say we get 10,000, somebody in a PBS society, because you know we bankers over here. We bankers and thinkers. We get this $10,000. We partner with somebody that's in real estate. They can get that same property for 3.5% down, 10%. $10,000 down. We lend them the 10% at a 20% return, and I need it back in a month after you acquire your investment property. So he put the $10,000 down. He still got all of the responsibility of the house that I just mentioned. I made $200 on my money, plus I got my money back. I'm up $10,200, and he still got all of the responsibility of the property. But because I lent $10,000 to him to close his deal, I'm going to be on the deed as a first or second lien holder. So for $10,000, this person's doing all the work, and I got first or second position on this property. So if he defaults on me, I can assume my portion of the property when it goes to sale. Why do you think that the bankers prefer to play this side versus this side? Oh yeah, my bad. You right. My bad. You are right. Not 200. It is 2,000. Sorry. So I make 12,000. And even if he paid me back, so I'm now on a deed. He got a renter in there making him his money. How many months would he have to make $604 without anything ever happening in net profit to make up for the money that I already made and I'm going to the next deal? Let's do it. $2,000 times $604.71. I'm not times. I said times like a mug. $2,000 in profit divided by $604.71. It'll take him 3.3 months to catch up to the money that he paid me that I made and I didn't go find the deal. Y'all don't think I'm flipping this bread every month? So let's say I flip the same $10,000 every month and I keep my profits and I put it back into my reserve, my surplus stack. Okay? So now watch this. I made $2,000 this time. 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 My money plus this $2,000 plus these three $2,000. I made $8,000 on my original $10,000 while this person just trying to catch up to the original $2,000 that I lent him and I made money on. If you banking what I'm thinking, let me see some B's in the chat.
Y'all need to pay attention.
So the concept of cash flow multiplying I want to multiply like a bank. So when I lend to companies or I lend to real estate properties, they doing all the work and I still get my name on the deed. In case they don't pay me back, I'm going to get my bread back. With businesses, it's a little different. You can do equity. There are some situations that I do just, I just do the lending loan, like an unsecured, almost line of credit with entrepreneurs. I do unsecured, but it's through, I only do it through a specific app that we use. And if you're not a part of Private Bank Society, you will not be able to get access to this private lending app that we have, where we can literally lend through an app and make our money through an app, lending money out to people and entrepreneurs that need it. That's the only time, because we have our own credit score there. We call it a social score. We have our own social score there that allows for us to rate the borrowers that borrow from our lending app. And based on that rating, it shows me how safe it is to actually lend that money out. I take a little bit of risk. That's my risky bread, while I'm finding the bigger money for asset acquiring. I've acquired multiple businesses, multiple tech companies from being the banker. I didn't come up with the idea for some of the technology that I now own. I didn't do the original work. I didn't do the original planning, but because I had the capital and they needed the money, I lent it to them. I acquired the asset of the technology. And because I acquired the asset of the technology, now I already own a piece of that technology without doing the work. When they don't pay me back, I am now your new partner. And hello, partner, this is how we want to run the business. Charles, you may want to go inside the counselor area. I do show you how y'all can actually get in our private community on the app, so we all kind of stay together and we know what's going on. Okay. So when we talk about the construct of what position to be in, let me ask y'all a question. And this should be as easy as Sunday morning. Oh, all right. So look, so we got to do this. The consumer, the customer or renter, the business owner, or real estate developer, and the banker. Team 1, team 2, team 3. The banker lends money to the real estate developer for the real estate developer to get a property that they now let the customer rent. The customer pays the real estate person money. The banker gets paid every month. for 30 years, regardless if somebody is in this house or not. And if the developer can't pay the money back, the banker now assumes ownership of the house. The customer, because the customer typically lives a lifestyle that they cannot afford, always borrows money from the bank so that it can pay for expenses for business or for real estate to live in. And then guess who gets paid back on this side? The bank get paid back from the customer, and the bank gets paid back from the real estate developer or the business. So if you had to choose team 1, team 2, or team 3, which team would you prefer to be on? Team 1, team 2, or team 3? Which team would you prefer to be on? Y'all say team 1 all day, huh? Team 1. Why? Here's why. The banker doesn't exert any energy. The customer spends all their time wasting money so that they need the bank. The business person or the real estate developer spends all their time finding the deal and then bringing the deal to the banker. Both sides bring money in deals to the banker, and the banker never has to leave their office, their location, their place. The banker always gets visitation from both the business owner, the real estate developer, and the customer and the renter. The bank don't got to move nowhere. So when we talk about the multiplication of the money, let's go back to the original root. The only thing I said, y'all, was, okay, all of the top real estate people would have to, they always teach to borrow money for your properties. Well, if I be in the business owners, so if I become what they need, I would never go out of business. So I don't even have to go and source for deals. They're going to be bringing opportunities to my way, and they're going to be trying to sweeten up the pie to make sure that I want to lend and invest. When I said, wait a minute, the world is teaching people to be dependent. I'm trying to teach people to be independent. Then the people that's rejecting my concept but accepting the world's, they got to get taxed. You can always come lend. So now watch this. 600, it would take 3 properties in order for it to compete with my $2,000 a month from lending the same $10,000 out. 3 properties times $285,714.28. Because I know that they mortgaged that whole goddamn thing. 285 times you would have to go in debt. 854,000. I'm sorry. 800. You have to go in debt $857,000. Godly. $142.84 in debt mortgage to just make $2,000 a month in net profit from your rental incomes to keep up with the money I'm making using the same $10,000. So you would have had to invest $30,000 plus rehabilitation just to make the cash flow I'm making, rinsing and repeating the same $10,000. Listen, I'm not against anybody doing anything. Whatever you do to get your paper, but I would much rather be making $1 million a year and storing it in my cash, my reserve, than to be a net worth of, having a net worth of $1 million. And what? For an example, I'm not getting in that today. I'm saving that for, I'm going to say that. That's a lesson for our actual members in the Private Banking Society. So class was on fire today. Let me see some B's in the chat. If you actually enjoyed class today, I showed you the numbers. I showed you why. I'm telling y'all, you got to be the banker.
And I'm going to be talking about this on Black Friday. But the truth is, for the workshop for Black Friday, how you overcome a recession or a crash is to be the bank that people need. People may not need your product, but everybody will always need your money. Are y'all listening to me? People may not need your product, but they will always need your money. And the real overarching thing that we're trying to do is to get this side so fat that you no longer need this side to keep this side going. And when you can do this, welcome to freedom. Freedom is in the servicing of currency that people need and depend on. And this is what we're teaching inside the Private Banking Society. This is what we're teaching. So for those of you that don't know what the Private Banking Society is, listen to this here. I'm going to show you what we have all inside of our society so you can see for yourself how dope it is. Ready to join the Private Banker Society? You may be asking, what exactly is a society, Dr. Jake? A society is a community, nation, a broad grouping of people having common traditions, institutions, and a collective activities in interest for a common cause. That's what we're creating with the Private Banking Society. With social media going haywire and information not being able to be disseminated in a way where everybody can get at the same time, we decided to create our own community, and it's absolutely free for the free part, where you can actually get information right on the spot and not have to worry about social media cutting information from you that can absolutely change your life. See, the mission for the Private Banking Society is to help 10,000 families become their own bank, become their own banker, allowing for them to live life on their terms, with their terms, by the way that they want to live it. We depend on our 4-pillar value system: restoring focus, restoring family, restoring finances, and restoring faith. We believe that with our skill sets and our talents, we can be able to collectively help you grow your surplus cash to at minimum $50,000 a year
and then show you how to use that extra $50,000 to take your life to the next level by becoming a banker, lending and trading and investing, so that you can one day live on your investments without having to live on your labor. Yeah. We have private perks and private benefits. The private perks is that you'll get specific millionaire strategies to creating extra $50,000 in surplus cash for your family. Another perk, Private Bankers Community, is an exclusive membership community inside our financial social network to connect you with other aspiring millionaires. We have on-demand master classes that teach you all the skill sets that you need in business and business models and case studies that you can be able to apply your life to. We have weekly live classes, digital skill set training, and everything else that you'll need to be able to get the concepts of private banking and take it to the next level. Automation technology access, exclusive banker resources, new business technology, bankers invite program, and complimentary private banking blueprint curriculum. Dr. Jake has thought of it all with his team to help get you the information not only that you need, but that you deserve. It's time for you to become a private banker. If you want to find out more information, go to privatebankersociety.com. Get access to it. It is free to join the free community, but it could cost you everything if you do not move forward today. We'll see you next time. Cool. Privatebankersociety.com. I would encourage you to actually go there. I'm going to go there with you real quick. privatebankersociety.com. If you are not already one of our banker cousins inside of the society, if you are, you can go inside of the private banker membership area and actually sign up for the class, that the workshop that we're going to be having on Black Friday as we release the Private Banking Society to the world. You can come here to privatebankersociety.com and actually reserve your seat. As you guys can tell, we're going to be getting this thing cracking. And it's going to be an absolutely amazing session in 2 days. You're going to get updated with all your information. So the biggest key I want you to understand is that the bank ain't nothing different than you. Your bank is nothing but a well-run business controlled by a well-organized family. If you can structure the 4 pillars that we talk about, keep your focus the main thing. Don't get caught up in all these people saying that they millionaires and they got millions and this and that. I know people that got $1 million in assets from their real estate and make less than $6,000 a month in active net profit cash flow. So what good is it to say that you're a millionaire if your cash flow is $6,000 a month? It doesn't really make sense. You're not a millionaire unless you cash in your assets. Other than that, all of that is paper fluff for ego and pride. Number 2, to focus on your family. Y'all know our motto. Our goal is to make families great again. And by families, I mean society type structures where people are of the same likeness, of the same mind, for the same common goal, to be great and experience a great life. Number 3, we want to make sure that you're restoring your finances. See, everybody talks about all this good stuff, but I'm just telling you, there's a different life that you have when your faith, your family, your focus is intact, and your money and your paper good too. So we're going to talk about that. That's the 3rd pillar. And this is what we've been on over the last couple of trainings that we're transitioning out of. That was the last class of that piece of the pillar. The 4th pillar, the last pillar, is restoring your faith. So we'll talk about how to restore your faith, how to make sure that you keep it structured, and how to ensure that you're walking and working in faith. Because it's the difference between saying that you got faith, but the work isn't there. It's another thing to say, to actually have faith by showing it in your work. See, the biggest thing that Jesus said, this is how gangster Jesus was. Jesus didn't walk around saying, I have faith. When people was chastising or challenging Jesus, he said, hey, do you not see it in my work? Do you not see it in my work that I am who I say that I am the son of I am a son of God. See, we ain't got time to talk about that. We are going to talk about that in restoring the faith. I'm going to be breaking some stuff down because there's a lot of translations that happen in the translation of scripture. He did not say he is the son of God. He said, I am a son of God. The completely changes the construct of what he was trying to say. Do you not see in your works that I said that ye are gods? Look, ain't that what y'all said? Ye are gods, we all are. So when you think about your God-given ability, you have to understand that the Godhood starts in you first, not no spiritual spook in the sky. We know the universal God.
He has many names, but we're talking about the fragmented piece of God that's inside of you that gives you the right to actually activate the life that God called you to live. Be the lender, not the borrower. Be the head, not the tail. But most importantly, be great to yourself because you deserve it. This is the end of the Private Banking Society podcast. I am the General Dr. Tayler Jacobs, and I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Let me close the vote. And I want you to always remember, share this information out. If you're already a banker cousin, share this video out with your link. Tell people, go ahead and stop playing because it's time to make our families great again. Let's get it.
I love you, Poppy.
Let's buy some land and build a family. That's a grown-up flex. And see a black man winning and get so upset. This is generational, inspirational, integrative though. On the rise vertically, working like I ain't made it though. This is for my people. Locker room speeches. Listen while I'm teaching. Nails trying like a kiss. Stole it like I'm Jesus and brought it back like a re-up. Had to demonstrate the blessing for people who couldn't see it. Now we building assets before we splurge our cash. We was talking about the dream, dog. We heard y'all laugh. Now they talking about the team and I heard y'all last. I can never take the credit. I prefer all cash. Look, laughing at the crib because I done turned into a bank. Probably turned into a mogul before I turned into a saint. Was just a man on his grind and I turned it into great. Turn my struggle into hustle and you know I'm getting paid. Let's go.